What's going on, everyone? My name is Aaron Brady with Timeless Sports, and we're broadcasting here live from our Victory Place studio in Dallas. You know, with 10 seconds left in the game, there are certain players that come to mind that you may want to shoot the shot, make the pass, throw the pass. But then there's those athletes too that when there's 10 seconds left, you may not want them to be in those clutch situations. Well, today we're going to debate, out of all the high-profile athletes that are out there, which are those stars that you don't want in clutch time? Join us today for our debate. Okay, let's meet the Timeless Sports team. We've got Scott Evans.
H-Town, let's go.
Loudon Richardson.
Loudon, baby, let's get it.
Parker Smith.
Let's get it, boys.
All right, so top 3 star athletes that you wouldn't want in clutch time.
This was easy for me. So my list consists of number 3 coming in as LeBron. 1, just because out of his 3 championships, he got to get bailed out by other players. Actually, on all 3. So let's talk about that. LeBron is just not a very clutch guy. I think he does a lot for the basketball sport on the court and off the court. I think he's a great player. But you're talking about someone taking the last second shot. It's not going to be him. And don't even get me started on his free throws. Less than 75%. Absolutely terrible. He just fits right in with the Lakers and the circus show right now.
Yes.
And so
Preach.
I think he's getting exactly what he deserves. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens this next year, but I just don't think he's good on the team. Number 2, I have Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
or
that's a good pick.
Russell West Brick. Yes, because he is a player that I knew that Kevin Durant was never going to win with. And I don't think he'll ever win a series or a trophy or anything besides an MVP award, because he's just good with stats and he can get average triple-double 2 years in a row, incredible feat, but he's completely selfish, doesn't play the game, I think, the right way, and he's just not very clutch. Anytime we've been on the playoffs, never really fulfilled expectations, never been better than the other person, even got compared to Ricky Rubio in the playoffs, and Ricky Rubio was playing better than him, which is pathetic. So he's my number 2. Number 1, I got the choker of them all, James Harden.
Fear that beard. Wow.
Fear the beard if he's on your team. And so, really, I mean, what goes to say? Like, literally last year they had this huge thing, if CP3 doesn't get hurt, then they win, they're going to beat the Warriors. This year, Kevin Durant gets hurt, they have everybody there, and they still choke. And they lose to Steph Curry and Clay, and, I mean, Iguodala was even hurt. And so, and Boogie was hurt too. It's just, Harden has excuse after excuse, never been a clutch player, very good statistically, will have MVP-type seasons, but in the postseason, doesn't show up, completely ghost. That's really what his next calling should be. That's what he's going to play after basketball, is he's going to be a magician, because has a great disappearing act. So that's my top 3 picks. Next, I'm going to give it to Loudon.
Yeah, guys, this is really easy for me. And I don't know if they're as high profile as Parker's guys, but they're high-profile athletes. I know who they are. If you play fantasy football and fantasy basketball, you're going to know them. So, number 3, Devonta Freeman. So, I have drafted Devonta Freeman. I think in the last 2 years, and he has epically failed me. And I know he was injured both years, right? He had a concussion last year, but man, I have just a bitter taste in my mouth. Full on bitter. From Devonta Freeman. It's a lot because I play fantasy football pretty hardcore, but I just can't get past it. That dude has not been clutch in a very long time and hasn't helped the Falcons do anything. So he was big for a while. He's supposed to be their number 1 running back, and now it's just like whatever, I guess so. Number 2, Chris Paul. Nobody wants the dude because why? Why does nobody want him?
Why? Because he's not clutch, always gets injured, and his contract is way bloated. And so, nobody's taking this old guy weighing on $30+ million a year. And so, nobody wants him. Rockets overpaid him. Rockets are trash.
Keep it rolling. Easy. Number 1, and easily the biggest winning number 1 here as far as high-profile athletes that aren't clutch. Number 1 athlete that I think of. This is better than LeBron James. This is better than James Harden. This is better than any of these guys. Eli freaking Manning. Yes. Eli freaking Manning. I don't care what he did in the Super Bowl.
If you're doing the MJ LeBron, there it is. He's 2-0.
He summoned magic and threw one pass that happened to that's
Catch
receiver
off
caught
somebody's
it
helmet.
off his helmet. That is not Eli Manning being clutch. Okay, that's him putting it in the area. I guess he gave his receiver a chance, but dude, this guy in the last. I don't know if he's been relevant in the last 8, 6, 7 years. He's just old. He's got a signature face that he puts on every single time he's on the camera now. Yeah, look at Parker. He's doing it right now. Everybody do their Eli Manning face real quick, please, so we can see. Everybody can see it.
I don't have one.
He always looks like he's hurting or like scared
He
of
looks
something.
confused.
Yeah,
He looks
straight
like
up.
he has no idea where he is when he's on. It's like, wait, am I
Eli
still in
Manning
New York?
face. Biggest high-profile athlete that is not clutch, and I will never, ever, ever. I would never want him on my team, fantasy football, anything.
Okay, Eli Manning is great in fantasy football if you've got the defense that Eli Manning is playing against. Because you know they're going to get a ton of points for you. This list, it hurt my heart and my soul. It really stung.
Oh man, he put his own guy on there.
Two of his own guys.
Oh no, Scott!
This one really hurt.
Love it.
I'm going to flip my list around a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he makes such a great State Farm commercial. But number 3 on my list is going to be Chris Paul.
Number 3.
I just can't. I can't get over it. I love the fact that we traded for him. It seemed great at the time. He's going to go down as one of the best point guards of all time, the point god. He just is always hurt. Can't get it done. Whether it was in LA with the Clippers and Lob City, or even coming to Houston, where we literally had the Warriors. Game 7.
Uh-oh.
We could have done it.
And games.
Could have. And Game 6 this year. But guess what? We can't. I get it. He's a great player. Statistically, one of the best point guards.
No.
You know, assists out of the wazoo. Great player. He just can't get it done in clutch time.
It's never his fault either. Even with the Clippers, it was always Blake Griffin's fault. I mean, he always acted so clutch, but it just never always short enough. And even up until this year, it was never his fault.
And I get it. He's a phenomenal player. Do I want the Rockets to trade Chris Paul? Probably not, because we're not going to get anything back. I think he gives us a chance. He has proven over time that he's not that clutch. Number 2, the $90 million first full-time guaranteed man, Mr. You Like That, Kirk Cousins.
I concur.
So glad.
What
Black is
on
back.
earth has Kirk Cousins done in the clutch time?
Is he a high-profile athlete now?
I think he is. He's getting $90
NFL
million
quarterback,
a
I
year,
mean,
fully
yeah.
guaranteed.
Well, yeah.
ESPN literally documented
Yeah,
his free agency.
I agree.
And I get it. He's a great guy.
Like that?
He's a great guy. Do you like that? Do you like that? He's a great guy, and I get it. He's not been that great. He's definitely not clutch. Number 1, great in 2K. Great player.
Great on defense, bro.
My one-time MVP, James Harden.
Yeah.
Fear the beard. I fear the beard anytime I know it's going to be clutch
concur.
time. I love James Harden as a player. If he was on the Mavericks, I'd hate him. If he was on any other team besides the Rockets, I would literally hate his guts.
Yeah, he's a pansy.
But he's my
such a
MVP. He's my Rocket. He does a lot for the city of Houston besides win championships. And the thing with him, you look at his series against the Warriors this year, he was looking for fouls. I get it, that's what he does. He used to drive the lane. He used to drive the lane and at least, swing the arms up under. Now he's taking contested shots for no reason, literally trying to pad stats that he doesn't need to. When he was the point guard, he averaged 10 assists a game. He was a great facilitator. He can do that. James Harden, you're ruining the game by just standing there ISO, driving and forcing up a shot. I know we need to get shooters around him, but statistically, I have to admit, it hurts. I'm crying on the inside. James Harden.
Scott's a Rockets fan,
Number 1, I love the Rockets.
so we know that this is truth.
It hurts.
Hashtag should they trade him?
All right, so my list, I've got Karl Malone, number 3. He a great talent,
Man.
and he had a great partner in crime with John Stockton. Had a great team in the '90s with the Jazz. and couldn't win a championship. I mean, I don't know how you have a duo like Stockton and Malone and not bring home a championship. Oh, that's right, you're running an MJ to GOAT. But he wasn't able to bring home the chip, and I think that makes him, one of the greatest choke artists in NBA history.
Easily.
Number 2, I got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a guy who puts up phenomenal stats when it comes to the regular season. He can throw 400 or 500 yards. He can put up 30, 40 points. But when it comes to playoff time, I would not want him. I would even pick Eli Manning over Matt Ryan if it comes to
28-3.
yeah, if it comes to playoff games. So Matt Ryan's my number 2. Number 1 was Parker's number 3, and that's LBJ, LeBron James. He hit on it's under 75% or right around 75% from the line. That's not clutch. If you got him within 2 minutes of the game, I don't want him taking that shot. He's deferred to Kyrie. He's deferred to Ray Allen. Deferred to Chris Bosh. Deferred to Dwayne Wade. Those are the guys who are going to hit those shots. Does LeBron make them every once in a while? Sure. But if you're asking me consistently, is he clutch given the high-profile nature of him and his brand? Absolutely not.
Yes, he is.
Okay, he's sponsored by Clutch Sports.
So to me, LeBron James is the most high-profile athlete that I would not want clutch time.
So the big question is, we want to hear from you at the bottom, is should Scott lose his Rockets card because of his top 3?
Okay, if you're from the H, we're on the same page.
Thank y'all. Have a good night.